On the question of what they've done to deserve the kind of abuse they get from the newspapers, do we know? Do you know?
In terms of the abuse they get from the newspaper, the newspapers will pick up on anything just for sales.
Yeah, but they haven't done that to Kate Middleton. So why have they done it to this pair?
I mean, they were quite ruthless with Kate Middleton.
They weren't quite ruthless. They poked a little bit of fun at her for not having a job, and they reported on the snobbery that she encounters in aristocratic circles because her mother was an air hostess. But they certainly didn't sort of doorstep her dad in the hope of getting him to say disgusting things about his own daughter. They didn't pay money to estranged family members from profoundly dysfunctional backgrounds. I mean, they went after Meghan Markle in a way that I can't actually think of. I'd compare it perhaps to Britney Spears or Lily Allen. It was just quite bizarre. Do we know what they did wrong in the first place?
It's like your best friend marrying somebody who's totally dominated him. And
where do you get this? So there we go. That's something I've read in newspapers written by ignorant people. Where are you getting your information from?
Newspapers. This is my own conclusion.
So what's it based on? The idea that she totally dominates him? How did you arrive at that conclusion? When did you arrive at that conclusion?
Pretty early on.
Okay. And what was the evidence for it?
Deviation from royal protocol, I would think.
No, the evidence for her totally dominating him.
By Harry deviating from royal protocol.
For example?
I mean, for example, the photographs that would normally be expected after the birth.
Pardon?
Photographs that would normally be expected of a new birth of a
photographs
baby.
Of the baby she'd just given birth to.
Which has happened in every case previously.
Yes, but you're talking about her dominating him. So you think he would have wanted to do it differently and she didn't let him with the photographs of the baby that she'd just given birth to? And you said it was pretty much from the start. No, you told me she dominates him. That's got nothing to do with royal protocol. He finds royal protocol presumably considerably more restrictive than she does because he's lived with it all his life. So where are you getting this evidence from that she totally dominates him? Because I've seen it a lot, particularly from people denying that their negativity is in any way racist. It's all to do with how pushy she is. So show me, because I can't see it at the moment.
It's to do with how pushy she is.
That's what I said. So where's the evidence?
Prince Harry was the kind of the saviour of the royal family. He's the shining star.
Yes. Where's the evidence that she, quote, totally dominates him, end quote? Because that's offensive to both of them.
The fact that in such a short time he's changed so completely.
Well, we all change when we fall in love, particularly with people that make us want to be better than we were before we met them. So again, the evidence that she completely dominates. Just one little example before we bid farewell and you step back from national radio. Where's the evidence that she completely dominates him?
Well, just the statement from yesterday that they want to step back from royal life.
But where's the evidence that she completely dominates him, Steve?
Well, that is the evidence.
No, it isn't. That's the evidence that they want to step back from royal life.
Would there be?
They want to. Steve, you just told me the reason. They want to step back from royal life. You told me she completely dominates him, and I want to know. And I suggested that you might just have swallowed that line from ignorant journalism. And you were adamant that you hadn't. So you must have. So where does it come from?
No. Unlike you.
Yeah. So
I've got experience.
You've got loads of experience. So where's the evidence that she completely dominates him?
You have no experience.
I've got no idea about anything. That's why I'm asking you. Where's the evidence that she completely dominates him?
Because of the statement from yesterday. There's no other possible explanation.
Well, apart from the fact that they want to step back from public life. That's the other possible explanation. So you need to just give me one little nugget of because not least because you said it was obvious from the start, and now you're saying it's been obvious since yesterday. So leaving that embarrassment aside.
No.
Oh, yes. I was here. I was listening. You said it's been obvious from the start. So what is it based on? Your conclusion that she completely dominates him, Steve?
The complete change in his personality.
Crikey! So you've known him all his life?
Sorry?
You've known him all his life?
What's all of his life got to do with the statement?
Well, to be able to observe a complete change in his personality. I don't know if his personality has changed at all. When did you first meet him?
So you've grown up...
No, it's a simple question. When did you first meet him?
I haven't met him.
But his personality has completely changed, and you're not basing that on anything you've read in the newspapers, so where are you getting it from? Where are you getting it from?
I've followed him since he was born, as you probably
I hope you haven't. There's laws against that sort of thing. But where is the evidence, A, that his personality has completely changed, and B, that she completely dominates
You're talking
him?
about something that you know nothing about.
Exactly, that's why I'm asking you.
Experience from working within a royal family.
Have you worked within a royal family, Steve? You should have mentioned it.
It all started on a perfectly ordinary day. The airwaves of LBC radio were humming, with James O'Brien hosting his show. Listeners called in until one call changed everything. The caller accused Meghan Markle of controlling Prince Harry. This echoed a narrative that's fueled tabloids and online forums for years. Now that idea was on trial, live on air. James O'Brien was ready to challenge it. This moment became a case study in questioning popular narratives. It showed how easily opinions can become facts. The caller's name didn't matter. What mattered was their certainty. They declared Meghan was in complete control of Harry, every decision part of her grand plan. The caller painted Harry as a lost prince, led astray by a manipulative partner. Calmly, they explained Harry's move to America, the interviews, the public statements, all as evidence of Meghan's control. But it was all circumstantial, connecting dots to fit a preconceived narrative. The logic was simple but flawed. Harry's actions are different, so Meghan must be making him do it. This wasn't just criticism, it was a character attack, casting Meghan as a classic villain. It denied both their complexity, Meghan as power-hungry, Harry as helpless. The accusation, delivered with confidence, was powerful and damaging. It reflected a story told countless times, one that strips people of agency and nuance. The narrative was clear. Meghan, the mastermind, Harry, the pawn. No inside information, no secret source, just interpretation and bias. The argument was built on feelings, not facts, and it was about to be tested. The air was thick with anticipation. James O'Brien listened, letting the caller lay out their case. Then he asked a simple question. "Can you provide one concrete piece of evidence that Meghan controls Harry?" The caller paused, caught off guard. They repeated their points, America, the interviews, but offered nothing new. Their confidence wavered as James gently explained the difference between opinion and fact. He acknowledged their right to an opinion, but pointed out they'd presented it as fact. To make such a claim, you need evidence, something more than suspicion. Again, he asked, "What has Meghan made Harry do against his will? How do you know?" The caller had nothing, no first-hand knowledge, no inside source, just a narrative absorbed from media. James's calm questioning exposed the argument's foundation-thin air. The caller's voice faltered. The house of cards began to wobble. The power of a single persistent question was clear. The difference between feeling and knowing was laid bare. The audience heard the argument unravel in real time. It was a lesson in critical thinking. The moment was electric. The truth was in the silence. The myth was collapsing. The conversation hit a turning point. Unable to provide evidence, the caller grew defensive, shifting to general attacks on Meghan's character. James O'Brien kept the focus. Where's the proof of control? The caller's argument became circular. Meghan is controlling because Harry acts controlled, and vice versa. When pressed, the caller admitted they'd never met Harry, didn't know his thoughts, just relied on media and photos. The logic unraveled. It was all projection and speculation. James's questions untangled the flawed reasoning, showing the argument was an empty loop. The call ended, the caller frustrated. For listeners, the lesson was clear. Strong belief isn't the same as evidence. A claim, no matter how often repeated, isn't a fact. The argument didn't just crumble, it vanished. The power of asking, "How do you know?" was undeniable. The myth of the controlling Meghan was exposed as just that, a myth. The air cleared and reality set in. The conversation was over, but the impact lingered. The call ended, but its impact was just beginning. Clips of the exchange went viral, spreading across social media. The hashtag James O'Brien trended as people debated the moment. News outlets picked up the story, framing it as a dramatic showdown. Headlines screamed about the caller being schooled or destroyed. The media, once fueling the controlling Meghan narrative, now reported on its takedown. The drama overshadowed the deeper issue, misinformation and how easily it spreads. The call became a cultural reference point, a meme, a viral video. The original nuance was lost, replaced by a simple story of logic versus bias. The conversation reached millions who'd never heard the show. It was no longer just a phone call. It was a media event. The story was flattened into good versus evil, smart versus foolish. The real lesson risked being missed in the noise, but for those paying attention, the message was clear. Public reaction was instant and polarized. Supporters praised James O'Brien for his calm logic, seeing him as a voice of reason. For them, the call was cathartic, a stand against bullying and misinformation. Others saw the caller as a victim, claiming James was elitist and dismissive. Online forums erupted, each side defending their view with passion. The debate became a digital shouting match, with little room for nuance. The call became a proxy war in the culture battle over the royal family. For some, it was about identity and loyalty, not just Meghan and Harry. A third group simply felt exhausted, tired of the endless drama and negativity. For them, the call was just more noise in a never-ending saga. The polarization was stark. You had to pick a side. The middle ground vanished. The conversation revealed how entrenched and toxic the debate had become. The fatigue was real and often overlooked. The story was bigger than one call. It was about a divided public. While the world debated, Meghan and Harry remained at the center of the storm. For them, this was another wave in an ocean of negativity. The caller's accusation reflected a narrative that's caused them real distress. Meghan has spoken about her mental health struggles, worsened by relentless criticism. Such attacks dehumanize her, turning her into a villain in a public drama. For Harry, the narrative is equally damaging, painting him as weak and manipulated. It ignores his achievements and his own reasons for changing his life. The controlling Meghan trope erases their agency and complexity. They're expected to endure abuse in silence, trapped in a no-win situation. If they respond, they're accused of attention-seeking. If not, the narrative festers. The radio call was a perfect example of their impossible position. They're judged by a public that often ignores evidence. The human cost is immense. The accusation against Meghan isn't new. It's a classic sexist trope. When a famous man makes an unpopular decision, we often blame the woman. Think Yoko Ono, Angelina Jolie. The story is always the same. The ambitious woman is cast as the manipulator, the man as her victim. Meghan, a successful, outspoken, biracial American, doesn't fit the royal mold. Her confidence is seen as arrogance, her ambition as scheming. The controlling narrative punishes women who don't conform. Men in similar positions aren't called controlled, women are. The double standard is clear. The radio call exposed this prejudice. The caller couldn't imagine Harry as an equal partner. The assumption is deeply sexist, robbing Meghan of humanity and Harry of agency. Their relationship is reduced to a misogynistic cartoon. The trope is tired, but it persists. The call made it impossible to ignore. What can we learn from this call? Always ask for evidence. Strong opinions often rest on nothing but feelings and recycled gossip. Being a critical thinker means separating what someone feels from what they know. Before judging, consider multiple angles and question stereotypes. The controlling woman narrative is lazy and rarely true. The media shapes public opinion. Responsible journalism matters. The James O'Brien call was a rare moment of fact over fiction. It's a mirror for our own biases as media consumers. Are we spreading anger or pausing to think and ask for proof? In an age of information overload, the most important skills are critical thinking, careful listening, and fairness.